this type of linear stage doesn't really matter what the path is, but this is very common to see. I'm going to try to crank out 2 more. I have some general ideas in my head here. What we're going to do is save this as a different file. So this is going to be bay R4 next. And then using Shift L, I can move all my stuff out. That's just the select all button. I'm actually going to delete the rulers too. Again, the challenge kind of that we're dealing with here is we're fairly limited on walls. And actually I used a lot of walls per the description of what the range had on this bay. So I'm going to try to use less even. Barrels, there were 4 to 5 double stacks per bay. And fault lines were not an issue. They had plenty of fault lines. And plenty of poppers too. I think like 4 to 6 little and big ones on each bay. But this is kind of nice because now I can restructure the bay for the correct size. And then I can move all this stuff around, just reorder it. And I don't really have to drag and drop everything again. So we're going to go over to bay. This next one is actually the same depth, but wider. It'll be 90 feet, 30 yards wide. So because this is a longer bay, and it is a local match, I want to keep good flow. I don't want anything crazy to happen on this one. So we're going to do a another kind of stage archetype that is just a side-to-side type stage. So let's go ahead and grab just a section of fault line here. We'll give it some good distance. They don't have rifle steel, so I don't need to max out the 50-yard distance. We could just make some partials and stuff, and 35 to 40 is still a really good test. Let's get a ruler here. So from the back of the bay, that's about 40. So I like that. We can do a lot with that. So this is going to be very simple. Actually, you know what? We'll do a side-to-side stage, but in order to help us out with some positions, let's go ahead and... Is that the actual center line of the bay? I guess it is. So I'm going to do a 4-yard gap in the middle here. And then I wonder if a shooting box is on call here. Oh. Yeah. This is a 1-yard shooting box. Yeah, perfect. And I need to get rid of my gun. H. Okay. We'll do yellow just like the fault lines. This will be a 4-foot. And then another one over here. I set middle mouse button to copy an item and add it to my selection. So basically I can just like grab things and add them just like this. And actually we might want to make this a little bit more of a sprint. So something like that. Hopefully the club has more than one dump box, because it is kind of unfortunate to use one dump box in this kind of scenario, because you kind of have to put it in the middle or force one direction. If you use 2, then you give the shooters, it's not really options on the stage, like you're still going to shoot the targets from the spot and move across, but you give the shooters just a left or right handed option. And I like this because when you're clearing the gun, the shooter is going to finish in the box and you can just clear it into the berm and you're not even close to flagging them or anything. This is kind of my idea for the setup. And what I wanted to do was, stop a few times in each of these areas as you move across, kind of move back with pistol. I might make it so that you can shoot all the pistol from either of these boxes so that the stage doesn't take too super long, like going to every position again. And then sprint up, do a reload, and then have some like hoser steel sets So that's kind of the idea behind this. So we could do something like this again, but I kind of want to reverse it because I don't really care about it being difficult at all. I'm gonna make one probably center far away that's a little more difficult. Like maybe we'll do a row of like 4 of these. Maybe one big one, because they do have quite a few poppers, I hear. Hopefully they do. Okay. What are we at distance-wise there? Yeah, 22. That's pretty good. And then here I wanted to reverse these so that it was a little bit easier. And this kind of thing trips you up too, because you can be aiming for the front, miss, hit the back steel, transition off it, think that the front's falling. And yeah, it's just when you're shooting fast, weird things happen on sets of steel like this that you're trying to hose. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. I don't want to make them super angled because by the way, if you angle stuff like this, the direction of frag of steel is always parallel to the face. So if you guys are angling steel, oops, you know, where it's like this, these front ones, like if someone's standing here resetting targets, this is actually a dangerous presentation. So in order to avoid that, if you really wanted to steal at an aggressive angle like that, you would want to put a barrel stack like this to block the frag, or just don't do that and make the angle something like this instead. Click and drag is for selection is such an important feature. I'm so glad that Loke added it recently. I guess it wasn't that recent. That was a while back. But. All right. This is looking kind of cool. 10 meters. 10 meters or so. Perfect. Get that back a tiny bit. Okay. Now, here's another cool thing with PCSL. I can say you must engage all steel from the box. You just write that in the stage brief. And you're not going to get confused about it as a shooter because you program in a sprint to the box. Like that's in your mind at some point in your plan. So it's extremely rare that you're going to be back here and go like, you know, if there's paper over here, transition to the steel and go, oh shoot, I didn't mean to shoot that. You know, now the target's not available. I'm going to get like an FTE. That's just not really something that's going to happen when it's an intuitive setup like this. Like if you're tricking them and saying all steel from this shooting area that's right next to this one, and it's kind of a memory stage and you're going back and forth between paper and steel, that's tricky and kind of anti-shooter. But when it's so easy to remember like this, like do the paper from a box and then run up and shoot all the steel, you shouldn't have a problem with that kind of thing. But if we have extra walls, the thing that's great about this is you can save walls because I don't have to block everything from all these other positions, right? Like, especially this angle from here, not seeing any of this, but being able to see it here. Kind of the only way to do that would be to do some, you know, aggressive thing like this, where it's totally blocked. And then I would also need to block it from like here and here, you know, so that those angles overlap and I can't see that stuff anywhere like that. So I can remove these 4 walls as a stage designer just by writing in the WSB, all steel from the box. Now, since there will be some paper around here, it might be nice if we have extra walls to just do the shooter's benefit and block them like this. And maybe this wall gives us a secondary purpose for paper engagement. So I'm going to do that for now. And we're going to put the start stick in the center. It could be a starting anywhere start. We are going to start with rifle. We're going to force that. So that's automatically going in the WSB because I want them to dump it and then run up with pistol and finish up here. And that way, if we have some closer targets on the left and right, those can start to be scored as the shooter runs up. And this is bait with some distance. So that's good that we're starting to score targets early. So again, the focus on this is just how can we make something fun and interesting without much equipment and that flows nice and it's easy to understand for a local match level. The shooting in 2-gun is very hard, so you don't really have to do so many tricky things with stage planning. At nationals, we do, obviously. We have stages, or try to have stages, where there are a lot of good plans and there are a lot to remember too, if you want to do it the most efficient way. But it's not necessary to always do that. The shooting in 2-gun, just being very good at executing rifle then handgun or handgun then rifle, is enough challenge in itself, in my opinion. So it doesn't feel easy and lame. Like if you had a USPSA classifier as a 1 out of 5 stages in a local match, that feels like, depending on the classifier, it really takes away from matches, in my opinion. Some of them are decent, but like if it's like El Prez or one of the 7-shot stand and shoot ones, it's just like, why are we doing this? It's just to open up more squad space with no effort. All right, let's plan some of the rifle stuff. So I think we do want to force some shooting from basically, let's put some text on the ground. That's cool. I like this feature. So we'll put 1, 2, 3, 4, even though there will be some positions intermediate, most likely. This will just help me describe it as I'm building. And let's just drag some targets in. So I do want to force 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the rifle. A pretty easy way to do that with the setup that we have here is we can dual purpose these walls and do something like add a half wall off of here and put a target right here that forces you to 4. So let's go ahead and do that again. And when I'm designing, these targets might change. Obviously, I might add partial or put more there or put a no shoot or whatever, but we're just doing the general layout. And then for 3 and 4, we probably want some cross angles in this space that you cannot see from 1. So if we go to 1, we get an idea of how far over these guys can be. And it looks like with the way I have this wall placed, if they're in the back there, they can actually be up against the berm. So this is safe and I still can't engage them from here. Yep. And if I wanted to only see them from 3, I would have to do something to block them from 4. So I'm going to grab a couple 6-foot walls. And it's probably just going to be something like, so if I do this too, I can actually create close blocked targets where I can potentially only see them from 2. Tuxedos are very useful for these tight angles too. But let's just see how this looks. So I can see him from 2. I don't really want to see it from 1. Okay. And I don't have to do everything symmetric. This can just be a feature of the right side of the bay. So now from 4, that one's blocked if I move it over a tiny bit. And then I probably want, is this another 6? Yeah. Probably want this guy blocked. Something like that. And then we could actually do the same kind of deal here and force another position 1 type thing, or even tilt this and have like an intermediate spot. Something like that. I'll try and move some of this stuff back that I'm not really placing yet. Yeah, so that's cool. So I can see it here also. I could fix that with a barrel, but I may not care. As long as when that one goes away, that one's not a shoot through. This is also kind of a weird option that we might want to leave. But I'm gonna stop talking and we'll just spend a little bit playing with some angles here. We should decide what round count we want though. I think something like 20 with the rifle is going to be fine. It's going to be a little bit of a slower paced stage with the rifle because you're kind of hunting and pecking for the targets. So 10 paper for the rifle. We already have 13 for this pistol steel. So we'll just put some targets where you can hit them from either side. That might be a challenge too. Although it shouldn't be too bad. Because we can basically do this for a bunch of them. So that's already 21 shots with the handgun. Could make this a handgun heavy stage, which kind of balances out the distance of the rifle. Trying to think if I want to dictate that paper must be engaged from here, or if I want to try to block it and like force you to be either in 2 or 3 to shoot some handgun stuff. And I wonder if that's doable if we do kind of like this type thing. Make the handgun a little bit closer. If I can get this where we don't have any shoot through issues. I guess these would just be straight ahead targets. I mean, that works, right? From here. Maybe this barrel's got to come here. Just where you can see it. So I kind of like this for the handgun. I can shoot everything from one side, which was basically my original goal. I know this has to move. It's 25 rounds. Then I can finish here and then run up in between these two guys and then come in here and hose the steel. I want to offset them like this a little bit so that if you're skilled and you shoot in between these guys, you'll be able to go like 1, 2, 3, 4 really quick. Yeah, same deal here. Okay. And then did this barrel kind of function like I wanted it to for that target? Yep. Okay, so we're going to remove this stuff and then totally redo the rifle over here. Okay. So at this point, we're only using 7 walls. We have no shoot through issues except for maybe this steel here. A little bit. That barrel kind of helped with it. In order to fix that, what do I need to do? I think I just need to move them back. There. And probably this guy back a tiny bit. Yep. Yep. Okay. Now I'm thinking to make the rifle angles like we want, we might want to just keep the walls up front. That actually helps with setup too. And then having them available for multiple angles is okay. And the shooter can just choose where to engage them. I do want a little bit of rifle shooting on the move. So I might compress these guys a little bit here. Bring them in so you can shoot on the move there. As well as here. And then do kind of the same thing over here. Doesn't have to be symmetric. Since I have that one, I might like remove one of those. Maybe put one right here. Although this is a very sweeping angle, so that causes a lot of shoot through potential. But we can always add another wall segment. Something like this. And then maybe a couple halves to block something too. Yeah, obviously he has to be there. That's still a very wide shoot through angle. I kind of want him to be blocked like much further back. And then it ruins that. Well, no, this can move back more. That's a super tight position. So you do have to remember that. And then Maybe we can give them something else to shoot out here right as you shoot this. Yeah, you got options on those guys. Options on that guy. Maybe swapping these is okay. What are we at? Rifle paper wise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So one more, which probably should be in the back here somewhere. Just got to find out where it's not a shoot through. I don't really want pistol rounds hitting it if I can avoid it. So that means it's got to be somewhere in this area. And that's okay. That's okay. So basically I have tons of options on where to shoot that one. Don't like where these are. Can they go left? So that I don't really have the ability to see them here. Even more left. Yeah, that one's not good. I forgot about that. I do like having this kind of sneaky target there, though. So what does that mean? I put him like here? Basically no, I'm always gonna have shoot-throughs the steel. He's got to be just so tightly managed on the angle. This is why Practisim is so great. Because you create what you want to see, and then it shows you all the problems with it, and you can just adjust, and then you can do very specific target engagements as long as you have the relative measurements of where everything needs to be to avoid shoot-throughs. So this one's almost good. He just needs to come left a tiny bit. I wonder if that does anything. Let's see him there. That's okay. That's good, good, good. Good, good. These two are a problem now. This one might be still a problem. This one comes forward a bit. That's okay. Maybe even very close to the shooting area. Maybe even like this. Then you can see him around the side here. Maybe that's not necessarily a bad thing. Okay. We don't have a shoot through anymore there. We don't have one here. We do slightly for those guys. But I think they can just move to the right. What was the problem with that? Was there a problem? It really wasn't a problem moving them to the right, huh? Last thing is this shoot through right here. I have another barrel. Oh yeah, I only use 2 barrels. Just this could have just helped me a lot more. Shit. Do something like that. Then if I can see those guys, I'm not seeing this one, which is cool. These two can even move up a bit. Very tight spacing here, and then tight spacing there, which is what we wanted. I can't see this from here. Maybe I just connect these. That actually helps the build too. Like that. Can't see it from one. Can see it there. probably do something like this just to make it interesting. Like draw your pistol and you got to take a headshot here. Or from this side. It's a little easier. And if you're on this side, draw your pistol and shoot that one first, back up, then shoot that one. Yeah, it's kind of cool. And also with rifle, as you're running in, you're going to go like, you know, there's some parallax on that no shoot. Don't want to make that too dumb. Okay. How are we doing on wall count? 2 big, 4 big, 4 half, and 2 6s. This could be swapped out. So 10 walls. 10 walls, and we got 20 rifle. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 20 rifle and 25 pistol. This target will get fragged in that environment. So we're gonna just shift these around a bit. That should be fine. Does that ruin our shoot throughs? Yes. Okay. So we're just gonna maybe turn them, move them back, something. Or it will just put a barrel there. Single barrel. It's just these front two that are the issue. They should have a single barrel for that. Little bumpers. How about over here? Same kind of deal? Yeah. All right. I mean, I'm sure I'd find more things to change if I looked at it more. But here's a stage for stage 2. So this one, start in the center with rifle loaded, pistol loaded and holstered, and all pistol steel must be engaged from this box. Do we even need to write that? There's this dumb sliver here. There's dumb slivers over there. Oh, there's still a shoot through kind of, because I moved that barrel a tiny bit. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Yeah, it kind of does make sense to still have all the pistol there. Okay. Now we just need to add partials where we want. I think I would probably make these either tuxedos or inner hardcover to help push people away from the wall. Let's just do tuxes. You're shooting rifle, you should be able to do that. Does this one need it? Not really. Just if you hit the barrel, just got to watch out for barrel strikes. Ooh, here's an opportunity. So anything that's kind of close to the steel, like if I shoot this one right on the edge, I guess I'm kind of close. This is another use that you can use hardcover for. Another purpose, I guess. So if I did, oh, that's a mini. Get rid of that guy. Right side. So if I right hand hardcover that guy, it just pushes the shooter's aim point away from the steel to avoid possible impacts. This no shoot, I kind of want more of a crazy presentation. We'll give him like some of the A zone. That's kind of cool. pistol guys, am I worried about them having hardcover on them? Not really. What are we close to? 1, 2, 3 here. I could do a right side and a 2 right side hardcovers here. I mean, that's kind of weird, but or right and a left. Yeah, why not? And let's make one of these a little bit risky, or we'll like, I don't make both of them risky. No shoot. It's kind of hard to position these on multiple target stands. Oops. Why don't we just do something like that? Bracket the A zone. You place that however you want, obviously. Okay, that's the stage. Get rid of this stuff. Yeah, I don't really see anything obviously wrong with it. Reset is kind of easy because you can have these back ones already scored as you are having the shooter finish up here. And then you just walk up and you just have to go down one side to score the paper. So that's kind of nice. Now where's the best angle to shoot a picture? Here. Do some rulers. Back of the bay. This is a 4-yard gap. Back of the bay, we're at 37, which is like 40. Steel's at 9 meters and 10 meters. All right, I think that's pretty good.